Okay, first, jack up the car. Second, get your hubcap off if you have one. Now, I got new hubcaps for cheapos from Walmart. Next, you want to take off the lug nuts. It's really nice to have an impact wrench. I did get this one from Harbor Freight. I think the battery charger came separate. I think altogether it was like $200. If you don't have that, then you'll have to do it like I used to do it. Take it off manually. Let's get that tire off of here. Working in a tight spot right now. See this tire, once you get your, first thing you should do, maybe check out your tire. This one's kind of balding on the inside. The other side's a lot worse. I don't have to get all new tires. I know the back is bad. So as you can see, I need new rotors. These are all scratched up. They actually wore down beyond that, that rim. So I bought this car used. The guy told me, oh, I just did the brakes and flushed it and everything. Everything he told you was bullshit. So you're better off just checking everything out. If they don't want to do that, don't get the car. But what else did I want to say here? But anyway, now that we got them off, what I'm going to do is put one of these lug nuts back on. Gotta hold that in place while you get this stuff off. There's 4 bolts back there, so you want to take this off first. It's just easier to take these apart and then get the cylinder in here and push it back. That way it'll fit over your new rotor, no problem. So let me get to it. Other little tips is you want to put something down to collect all the dirt and grease so it doesn't get on your driveway or grass. Next thing, I'll throw this down here because when I take this off, I can set it on here. I put the tire in there to give me some extra table space to put stuff on. And first thing I want to do is get this right here. See if I can get it by hand without using a... Oh, got it. Without using an impact wrench. You can see all that black stuff in there. That's because I did the brakes recently, about 3 weeks ago. And I knew the rotors were really bad. They were squeaking. Very embarrassing. But I knew the rotors were really bad. I just haven't had time, especially with the job. And oh geez, that winter storm that came in, that set me back 5 days. Can't do anything outside. Okay, after you get the 2 bolts out, the one on the top and the one on the bottom, just pull this out. If it'll come out. Might take 2 hands to do this. And I've got nowhere to put my camera at. Yeah, so that was a 2-hand job. Let's see here in the back. I haven't got this bolt yet. And I think it's... No. Let's see where I can see here. Yeah, this bolt take the light. You'll be able to see them now. There they are. Them 2 bolts need to come out. They are 15 millimeter. Let me check my socket just to make sure. Yes, they are 15 millimeter. So they're all 15 millimeter. All 4 of them. Okay. Those 2 back bolts that I sprayed with WD-40, they're actually 14 millimeter. This one's 15. So, which is weird because on the other side, I just got done doing it as a test run for my video. They were all 15 millimeter. These 2. So you never know who worked and jerry-rigged around with your car when you buy them used. So you can't take the bolt sizes to heart in these videos because someone might have jerry-rigged it and used a totally different size bolt with the correct thread. But that's just how it is. Okay, just a little tip. Like them 2 bolts were really snug. They did not want to bulge with the angle. So to get more leverage on it, all you got to do is turn the ignition so that the car is on, but don't crank the engine, and then turn your wheel, and then it gives you more access to get underneath there with the crowbar and undo them. So, okay. Once you get that caliper off, let it sit up on there. You want to clean this all out. It's pretty rough. And then you want to clean this off too. Get all the way around. Get any loose stuff. Get some loose stuff off the back. Just use your brake pad. Use a C-clamp. Push that cylinder all the way back in. It'll make installation a lot more easier. Okay, the next step, after you have this all cleaned up, you want to open your new, well, you don't want to open it yet. Just compare it with the size of that one, which I already did. Make sure it's the same diameter. Make sure it has enough holes for your studs. And that's a 5 stud, just like that one is. And then the next thing, you want to clean the surface area on the front and back with brake cleaner, because they put an oily substance on it to prevent it from rusting. So there you go. That's after you have to add the anti-seize product, whatever product you decide to use. You want to get it on the bottom all the way around, maybe a few spots on the hub. You don't have to go crazy with it. Slap it on there and then put a bolt in to hold it in place. Okay, this should be the finished product. Just want to mention that it's just easier to take the caliper assembly apart, take the brake pads. You don't have to take them out of this, but unscrew this bolt and the very bottom one down there. Can't see, yeah, there it is. Take that off first and then take this off. You're going to have to push that piston all the way back in, so that it allows you to get this back on, because my other rotors were really bad, but these are a lot thicker, newer, so they'll last a long time. And what else do I want to mention? I mean, other little tips and tricks. You can pop the cap on the your brake fluid cylinder, master cylinder, and that way when you're pushing the piston back, it gives it space for the fluid to push the fluid back, so it's not compressed. And what else do we want to do? Just, you want to inspect it, make sure it's all clean. You know, I hit it with the brake cleaner again all the way around once I got it on. See how this is all smooth? Pretty much I kind of went over with a wire brush over everything. I wanted to get all the little bits and pieces and particles and dirt out of there. I cleaned up back there a little bit, took some of the stuff off. Like I said, I saw my bushing back there. I need to get a new bushing. You can see the gap in there. I could hear it clunking. I figured that's what it was. But other than that, all you got to do is slap the tire back on, and this side will be good to go. Okay, just as a little bonus, I thought I'd show you the rear brakes because I'm doing them too on the rotors. It's basically all the same, except it's using, I had 13mm bolts for the 4 bolts. So, but that's the old brake pads. I see they're a little unevenly worn because that other rotor was probably a little warped and probably no grease in there. But I'm going to replace those. But you can see where the clip goes for your one brake pad. That's just that's there. If your brakes get too low, it starts making that screeching sound. That's what that's for, to let you know your brake pads are low. But I wasn't getting a screeching sound in the rear. But you take it off, clean it up. Now this one here, you need that tool. It's just a block, because you got to turn those in, and be careful because it has a big hose attached to it. So you want to get some bungee cord and just strap it up so it's out of the way. But other than that, it goes back together fairly easily. So, all right.